Axonius has pretty much built its brand on visibility, the classic line of you can't protect what you don't know. And so your ability and Axonius's ability to provide visibility, really sort of, shot you out to the cybersecurity community. But one of the other sort of elements of that is that visibility allows you a path to resilience. And I think that's what you're going to show us right now through the dashboard of Axonius. Yes?
I want to first show you what really matters to you and to your cybersecurity program. In this example, you see that Microsoft Defender is the endpoint detection and response tool in this demo environment, and 24% of the assets that are supposed to have that particular EDR simply don't have that EDR.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at our vulnerability scanning in this demo environment, 29, only 29% of the assets are being scanned for vulnerabilities, and large majority of them are not. Let's look at SCCM coverage. I'm in a very, very bad shape here. Only 5% of the assets have that coverage. We have invested a lot in a data loss prevention tool that currently it only covers 5% of the assets. And why is this important? This is important because cybersecurity is a battlefield. This is a watchtower that allows you as a CISO, as a cybersecurity professional, to stand on top of that watchtower and look at the battlefield, where you are weak, where you are strong, where you need to reshuffle your resources in order to align and fight the bad guys the best way possible. So this dashboard is pretty comprehensive. We bring in all sorts of data into the platform. We analyze the data. I'm going to show you how we do that. And then we create these dashboards.
So as I see, this is kind of telling us like how good or bad of the situation is, but it's pretty clear there's a drill down capability to see what's behind them.
That's absolutely true. You can drill this down, and these dashboards are live. They're not static. You can share this with the operations side of the house because cybersecurity's job is to identify issues and problems. Because of the principle of separation of duty, it's the operations job to actually fix the problems. These dashboards can be shared among different stakeholders in the organization, and as the work gets done, these dashboards get refreshed. And then you see that the progress is being made.
Show us what you got next here.
So we bring in 42 different asset types. It may sound counterintuitive, but even vulnerabilities is an asset type for us because this is something that exists in the environment. We parse them based on operating system. More importantly, we show you all the CISO known exploited vulnerabilities, which is really not that big of a deal. The big deal is the fact that in this environment, I have over 1,700 vulnerabilities. No organization has the time and the resources to go around the block and just patch everything that has a vulnerability on it.
Right.
If we have 1 hour in a resilient cybersecurity program, if we have 1 hour to do vulnerability remediation, we want to hone in and focus on this 79. Why? Because the data that we have gotten from your CMDB shows that these assets in this, as part of the 79, they are tagged as mission critical. AWS is telling us that these assets are holding customer sensitive data. The networking is telling us that these assets are in a subnet that is subject to PCI compliance. Now, 79 is more manageable than over 1,700, and it has all the asset and the business context in it.
That's a key line there. It's that the fact that the asset context and the business context, the two issues, pretty much you want to know with everything that you're bringing this out to the forefront. So that's great. So is there anything more you can kind of explain on that too?
Yeah, as I said, we bring in data through your existing tech stack. We don't have a scanner. We don't install an agent on your endpoints, and we do not instrument your network with another piece of hardware. Everything we do is scanless, agentless, and is based on APIs. Once we connect to your tech stack, we get the full visibility into the profile of each asset because we put all those data together, we aggregate them, we normalize them to speak the same language, We deduplicate them, and our claim to fame is our correlation engine, which is a very massive and complex algorithm. But as an end user, you never have to touch it, you never have to see it. You only consume the results of it. So that's at a high level a watchtower for the cybersecurity and IT operations professionals. Now, here is a simple dashboard that shows you everything that you have in the environment, from workstation to servers, to how many domains you have. Are they virtual? Are they physical? Are they in the cloud or on-prem? More importantly, we go to SaaS applications. SaaS application is yet another asset type for us. In this example, I have 101 SaaS applications in the environment. 59 of them are managed. Managed application is the one that either goes through the single sign-on or we have a direct adapter connection to it. The balance of that is your shadow IT. This is your shadow SaaS applications. In this environment, I have 42. So 42% of my SaaS applications in this demo environment are something that the security and or IT, they don't know anything about.
You got some level of visibility, and this needs to be investigated further, apparently, yes?
100%. This is where the security, that resilient cybersecurity program that we're talking about, this is where they want to hone in. What are these 42? And then we show you the ways to inform the users that are using this or simply get them out of your environment. Furthermore, we show SaaS to SaaS integrations. Like you have Salesforce in your environment, is sanctioned. You have Okta for your single sign-on. That is also sanctioned. I'm a salesperson. I log into Salesforce through Okta, and then a third party shows up and says, hey, Mr. Salesman, if you let me, I can send emails on your behalf. You're going to be that much more efficient. You can find that many more leads if you automate the process of sending the email. I'm like, yay, let's do it. The moment I click on that app and I say, yes, do it for me, a pop-up comes up and says, I need access to your inbox. Is that sanctioned in the organization? I don't believe any IT security or operations professional wants the end users to give access of their inbox to a third-party app that they have not vetted.
By the way, I'm always astonished to the level of sort of cojones an app will ask for incredibly sensitive access and not thinking twice about it. And people just sadly just say yes to everything when they get requests asked to that.
These days, getting a SaaS app and using it for end users is easier than walking down the street and getting a cup of coffee from Starbucks. It's really as simple as that.
Well, the point that was made to me also is the fact that the person who is essentially launching the SaaS app often becomes the de facto security for that app. And if they're just saying yes to everything, they've just sort of knighted themselves security for this app, not realizing it, and then accepted some level of security that you probably did not want at the time.
And then you multiply that by the number of users who are curious to get their job done through unsanctioned apps, and then you see that sprawl.
Essentially, people get unknowingly dubbed as security curators of the apps, not realizing they're doing it.
Very true. And then we have all these other integrations that don't even go through the SSO. These are completely unsanctioned. And in a later episodes, I can actually show you how we do that.
What else do you have to show?
Installed software is inherently different than your SaaS applications. We bring in your entire landscape of your installed software. You can see exactly what software is installed on how many devices, whether they are sanctioned or unsanctioned, they're approved or unapproved, and also we empower you through our enforcement center to do something about them. Now, I'm sure, Dave, by now you're asking me, this is all great. How do you do this?
How do you do this?
How we do this, as I said earlier, no scanning, no installing another agent, and no shipping you another appliance for you to install in your data center. This is all through API integrations. As of today, we have over 1,100 integrations. There is not a technology that you own in your data center or in the cloud for which we don't have an API integration. If we don't have it, we build it for you for free. And we encourage you to connect to as many technologies you have in your tech stack as possible. Why? Because each tile, if you use buying a camera as an example, each tile is 1 megapixel resolution on the picture. If you connect one, you get 1 megapixel. You connect 20, now the resolution of that picture is 20 megapixel. The fidelity of the data and the resolution of the data increases. Once this is the adapters are connected and they are in place, you end up here. This is the landing page when you log into Axonius. This is everything that exists in my digital universe in this demo environment is here. As you see, my asset types includes devices, vulnerabilities, all the cloud assets, all the identities, installed software, SaaS applications. So that is the first differentiator between us and a CMDB or an asset management tool, because their definition of asset is very narrow. Our definition of asset is very encompassing. 42 asset types as of today.
What can we do to make ourselves more resilient?
This is what we can do. Let's zoom in. Let's go at the micro level. Let's just zoom in into one asset. When you click into one asset, we have brought in 160 different records about this asset. And these have come through the eyes of technologies that you have in your environment. There is nothing about this asset that we do not know. Now, let's say you have an incident. A user ID or an asset has been compromised. You simply go to asset investigation. You can see what value may have been added, changed, or removed. You can go back in time. Last 7 days, last 30 days, last 24 hours. Furthermore, you can actually assess the blast radius. What are the ramifications of this one asset being exploited by the bad guys? With 2 clicks, you see your blast radius. This, we can drill this multi-layers, and this is an incredible tool when it comes to incident response. So at the micro level, we know everything about a single asset or a list of assets that we feel that they have been acting abnormally on the network.
This is key to incident response and apparently also forensics, yes?
100%. This is all about forensics and incident response. Because when an incident happens, when there is a compromise in the environment, the first thing you want to do is to understand what is that asset, what's the profile of that asset, and what else that asset is connected to in order to stop the lateral move inside your network. At the micro level, by zooming in, that's the use case that I just showed you. Let's see what else we can do with this data. Here comes the second differentiator between us and an IT asset management tool. This data is live as you want it to be. By default, we fetch records every 12 hours from your technology stack that we're connected to. That is customizable. You can do it every hour. You can do it every other day. Per connection. That's completely up to you. Data that comes from an IT asset management tool does not help you with your resiliency in your cybersecurity, because the data is static. In order to make sense out of it, you're going to have to take it to Power BI, which is very expensive, or take it to Excel to do some analysis. By the time you are done, because that data is a snapshot in time, the backend reality has changed. That's not the case here with Axonius. We can go to the query wizard and find issues and problems. I can simply ask, give me all my Windows servers. 2 clicks. Dave, I don't know, you don't have to answer these questions, but I'm not sure how long it takes in your organization to give me that answer and how confident you are with that answer.
Not confident.
There we go. We got 259 Windows servers in this environment. Okay. What else we can ask? If I recall correctly, you told me that you have Sentinel-1 as one of your endpoint detection and
Well,
response.
not me personally, but I'm familiar with Sentinel-1. Yes.
Okay, so Sentinel-1, show me all my Windows servers where Sentinel-1 exists. This is not really earth-shattering because you can go to the console of Sentinel-1 and it will tell you where it is installed.
Oh, and this goes back to the very first screen you showed me of like where your EDR is covering and what it's not.
Exactly, because all of these queries are the foundations of those dashboards. Sentinel-1 can tell you where it is installed, but Sentinel-1 cannot tell you where it is not installed.
Hmm.
We can reverse this logic and say, show me all my Windows servers that do not have Sentinel-1 on them. We
Hmm.
got 240 servers.
That's too many.
This number is a number that we can take to the bank.
Hmm.
This number, there's no ifs or buts about it. Now, if somebody comes to you and say, you know what, that data is just old. Like, no problem. Let's just add another line to it. Let's see when was the last time these servers were seen on the network. Let's say last 30 days. Because operations may come and say, well, you're showing me some old data. Well, I have 230,
230 at 240.
right? I
Yeah.
have 230 servers that do not have Windows, they don't have CrowdStrike on them, and they have been seen
Sentinel-1.
by something other than Sentinel-1
Okay.
in the environment, right? Now, our job is not complete. Now we found some problems. From here, if I say, okay, Axonius' job is done, we
Hmm.
haven't done you a favor because now you have to take a screenshot or you have to take a Excel dump from this, go somewhere else, open a ticket and do something about it. We simply take you to our enforcement center. And today we have 503 different workflows
Hmm.
and actions you can take about the deficiencies we just identified with 4 clicks
Hmm.
in the previous screen. Something as not as exciting as sending someone an email, sending a Slack notification, but something absolutely interesting and time efficient that helps you with your resiliency in your cybersecurity is we integrate with your ticketing system. You can open that ticket right from within the same platform. We can integrate with your endpoint management tools and initiate the process of installing that missing agent on those Windows servers right from within the same platform.
Hmm.
So, in a nutshell, we give you your most comprehensive, credible, always up-to-date asset list. Our definition of asset encompasses 42 different asset types.
Hmm.
We empower you to use our query wizard, find deficiencies, and analyze the data. We bring you to our enforcement center to do something about it.
And that, by the way, just to reiterate, that is the path to resiliency.
As soon as the only lift on your side is to provide those API keys and make 6 to 8 adapter integrations in place, the rest of it is on us because with your own eyes, you will see in real time that the data it keeps coming in, and then we can analyze the data and show you the state of security in your organization.
Sounds like a great idea. So why don't you do this yourself? You saw all of this. This is just demo information. You want to see it on your information. So take up Hamid's suggestion and set it up for your environment. And so you can see your own data and see what essentially is being exposed, not being protected, and what you need to prioritize with Axonius. There's a web address if you don't already know how to get there right there. Go there and ask to set up a POC, a demo, anything more you want to see to get going.